I've done a lot of research and talked to a lot of people. Ken Storback, who is the executive director of the Arizona League of Cities and Towns, says, in a typical organizational chart for cities and towns, the police chief reports to the city or town manager. Reporting directly to the council would be a rare exception. She's the director for the Center of Management Strategies, and she says, in my experience, in that the majority of council manager forms of governments, that the police chief works for the city manager. Mike McGrath, who's the Chief Information Officer for the National Civic League, says the model we advocate places the managerial role of the police chief under the town manager. The council creates policy. All personal matters rest with the town manager. A police chief, like any other department head, needs one boss. That boss needs to be the city's chief executive. The chief executive could be the mayor or the city manager. Council ultimately has oversight powers, including those of investigation. Key, management resides with the manager. And Greg Caton is more than capable of doing that.
There's really two issues we deal with, and the council puts it into one. The first one is the level of service we want to provide as a town to our citizens in the police department. That's a policy decision. We set the standard of what our police department kind of service we're going to provide. The second, the day-to-day operations of the police department, how they're going to provide that service. And that we are absolutely horrible at overseeing as council. The majority of the council has to give Chief Sharp direction. Well, we have something in Arizona called the open meeting law. So if Chief Sharp wants to do something, policy-wise, he needs 4 out of the 7 of us. Well, 4 of us can't talk about the issue because then it violates the law. So to truly get a discussion and get consensus, we have to put this on the agenda, open up to the public, and describe day-to-day operational if that's the direction we tend to take. Chief Sharp reports directly to us. When's the last time this council has actually had a study session? When's the last time a PD issue has not been on the consent agenda? I mean, we just are ill-equipped for day-to-day management. We're a part-time legislative body that meets once every 2 weeks. We go from July 3rd now to, what, September 4th before we meet? And that's not day-to-day management. I don't think we ever have that type of discourse on council on the day-to-day operations. We're policy, we're not managers of day-to-day. It's not what we do. The best practices is for the police chief to report to the town manager. And if we're not going to follow the best practice, we better have a good reason. It's not broken, don't fix it. It doesn't sit with me because I've never been a part of an effective organization that doesn't have good management that provides clear guidance to subordinates and ensures that that guidance is implemented. And I don't think we're doing that as a council. I think Mr. Caton is more than capable, and I think that's where it needs to be. But as it stands now, we are the only boss he has, the 7 of us. So we have to get into the day-to-day management.
No. Structure. I think it's totally inadequate to think 7 individuals and then we're going to majority vote things, because we've put it in our code as our town attorney that represents us has said, we're his superior. And I don't know how many times we've sat in these meetings, and I've been chastised as well as other members of council, we're getting in the weeds. I'm micromanaging. Well, I want to make it perfectly clear, that's our job by code. I'm trying to move the monkey off the council's back, which becomes a political football. Once and for all, we put the town marshal / police chief under the manager where 99.9% of the jurisdictions do, because we have faith in our leadership team, and get the political nonsense out of it so that when we come to the budget, the manager comes with his recommended budget. We won't have minutia questions. We'll have policy issues, and we move forward from there. I just created a real quick PowerPoint, and all it was a dotted line reporting structure to council with a direct line to the chief, to the manager. That's it. We still have oversight. We still hire and fire, we still get involved, but the daily operations are on the manager. And it takes us out of that political fight all the time.